You're listening to The Evolution of Perspective on Blog Talk Radio. I'm your host, Ellen G. That was Ebony Riley. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to connect with Ms. Riley to get additional information, to get some clarification, et cetera, it's eriley2@umbc.edu. Up next, I have the Wonder Voice. I need to get myself together because whenever the energy is coming, and I know that she said that she wasn't feeling well earlier today, but we're going to bring Erricka on the line. We're going to get this interview popping so y'all can know about the Wonder Voice. Erricka, are you with me?
Yes, and I'm giggling at you already. Hi.
Hey, girl. How you doing? What's up?
I am pushing through and sitting still at the same time. Yeah.
Yes, at the same damn time. Yes.
At the same damn time. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, so Erricka, I don't know if I ever told you this before. What middle school did you go to?
I went to Roland Park Middle School.
Okay. All right. That just confirmed something for me. So I knew Erricka by face, not by name or anything else. I knew her by face.
You did not go to Roland Park.
I did go to Roland Park. Yes, I did. And I've been waiting forever. Yes, been waiting forever to ask you that question because I was like, I remember her. I just don't know where I remember her from. So, yeah.
Wow.
So, I know, right? Absolutely crazy.
That's crazy.
Knew Erricka from back in the day, Roland Park. Don't remember how we got connected via the social networking medium, but connected
because
with Erricka.
One of my girlfriends who I grew up with told me about your rap sessions and said I would probably be interested in going, and I went, and that's how I met you. Yeah.
Yes. So Erricka came to the rap session. We got connected via Facebook, and so I've watched her. She has one of the most dynamic, unforgettable personalities that you'll ever be. When you meet her, she's like nobody else that you'll ever come in contact with.
Thank you very much.
Yes. So what we did was with Brielle McCoy, we were coming together. She was putting on a production for the Vagina Monologues, and she wanted to talk to people about being sponsors, people being speakers, and I was like, you have to connect with this woman, Erricka Bristol. You have to connect with her. Connected with her, Erricka ended up going from being like a sponsor to being a participant in the play. Like, Brielle was like, hell no, she has to be a part of this. Like, she's going to be an integral part of the play. Did that, and God, just been like vibing ever since. So that's the LNG Wonder Voice history, and Erricka is a poet. She's an inspirational speaker. She's an interfaith minister. She's the head journalist and copy editor of the Baltimore Bricks. She is the director of training for Community Mediation Maryland. She's
my God, I'm getting tired just listening to everything you're saying right now. This is ridiculous.
Right.
Is it racist if I say I'm a Jamaican? Like, what? Remember what show was that? Living Color? Are you Jamaican? You only got 3 jobs. You're not Jamaican.
10 jobs, baby. 10 of them. And she does it all while honoring her spirit and the spirit of the universe. And just like I said, she's one. Okay. So, Erricka, talk to me a little bit about, and she's a blog author. So, talk to me a little bit about how you got started doing the community mediation.
Wow, so I grew up in West Baltimore, and so when I was maybe in middle school, I started seeing, that's when I began going to funerals. I saw one of my friends die, right in view of my bedroom window. Well, no, I'm lying. I didn't hear him die. I heard him saying his last words, which were, please don't let me die. And so that's how, like, that was my introduction to, when people have conflict, people get killed, people go to jail, bad things happen. And so at 12 years old and then going through high school, going back and forth to funerals like that, it was really important to me to have some kind of way where to be involved in anything that was about conflict resolution in a way where conflict could be resolved peacefully. So one of my brothers, his name is Pop. He got shot in early 2001, like in the spring, and he was dead on arrival at the hospital. And he ended up surviving, but it was, it was a minute while he was in there of really just fighting for his life. And so I called my supervisor at work, and I, explained I called her crying from, from the trauma center, basically. And she was very supportive at first. I had a lot of leave time and a lot of vacation time on the job that I was working at the time. And so I would get my work done, and I was using my personal time to go and sit by my brother's bedside waiting for him to come all the way back. And so her and I started having some conflict because she would make little side comments about, me leaving. And so I would, want to address it and say, well, is there something I'm not doing? Is there some work not getting done? Anyway, we were having conflict, and it started separating our team. People were choosing sides, and everybody was on my side because, of course, I was right. And so she called somebody from the local community mediation center, which is on Greenmount Avenue in Baltimore City, and said, we need somebody to come and give us a conflict management training. Well, that person came, and at the end of the training came up to me and said, you should be a mediator. And right. So whatever my participation was in that 1 hour presentation basically is what she came and did. She saw something in me that said I would be good in this work. And it turned out she was the executive director of the mediation center at the time. And so I ended up interviewing and applying to get into the training, and I got into it. And so I got trained to be a mediator in September of 2001. So that was a huge sign for me that while, the United States was under attack, I was learning how to create peace in my city. Wow. And it all started from having conflict, literally having conflict with my boss about my brother being shot in a conflict. So it was all really kind of surreal. Years later, fast forward, my brother ended up last year, he was an AmeriCorps member at that same community mediation center doing reentry work, so going into the prisons, telling inmates about how they could mediate with people on the outside to make plans before they came home. And so, it has been a really awesome journey and ride doing this work. I came in as a volunteer mediator, completed the training. I ended up working at the center as an intake person. I've had almost every job at that local center, except executive director, because that's not the fun job. That's the grant writing, kiss and ass job, and I don't like that job. But it's a needed job, but it is not the fun job. And then Lorig, who is the LORIG, she was the executive director at the time, and she became one of my best friends and mentors. And she literally, when she was leaving to come start community mediation, to come work at Community Mediation Maryland, she walked in my office and said, there's going to be a new position of training director. You should apply for it. So I became the training director in Baltimore City, and around in 2002, and then in 2005, I went to the statewide nonprofit, and so now I basically train all of the mediators at all of the mediation centers and the community mediation centers in the state. So,
wow, awesome, absolutely awesome. Okay, so Lee was saying how life comes full circle. One of the many lessons that I've learned from being around you and just coming in contact with you. Actually, so I'll talk about three. One of them was a line that you had in the Vagina Monologues where you talked about manipulating people's lying to manipulate people's perception of who you are.
Yeah, how having my own lying like prowess couldn't keep me from lying to men to try to control their opinions of me.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And whenever I tell a lie, because I would be lying if I said that I never lie. I try not to lie, but whenever I do, I always think about that I'm trying to manipulate somebody's perception or opinion of me.
Right.
You're somebody who I think people would agree is pretty comfortable in your own skin.
Yes, I haven't always been, but I definitely am now.
And that's my question to you. How did you grow as a woman and as a human being to be comfortable in your own skin?
I think being born with one hand has forced me to look within. So most of my life, when I was a little girl, I was very proud of the body that I was in because my parents raised me that way. You know, they said, okay, so you were born with one hand. It means you can do everything everybody else can do. It also means you're awesome and special, you know. And so I didn't understand why people had all of these extra fingers that they really didn't need because, you know, I only had 4 fingers and a nub, and I was getting it done. And so I thought it was like a very special thing. And then I went out into the world. I went to school, and society looked at me differently. So I felt wonderful, and society looked at me with pity, with guilt, with wanting to know who to blame, asking, you know, had my mom smoked or did she drink when she was pregnant with me? You know, people look for who to blame when they see something that they don't understand. And so I spent a lot of years confusing my self-worth with people's perception of me. And so wanting people to be my friends, you know, holding on to relationships way longer than things that are just were really unhealthy, way longer than I should have. And so, but it was based in me paying attention to how people reacted to my body. And so I would walk through crowds on the side where nobody could see my short arm. They could only see my long arm. And I would go through, you know, like I talked about in the vagina monologue, a guy would see me from across the room, say, oh, my God, she is fine. She got a fat ass. She's pretty. I'm going to go talk to her. And then as they get closer, they realize I only have one hand. And instead, by the time they get to me, they talk to one of my girlfriends. So things like that can really, seeing the world through other people's, seeing yourself through other people's eyes can really impact what you think you are worth. And so that led me on a path of pain. And, you know, and feeling like I couldn't find myself and I didn't know what I was really worth. And it dawned on me one day that I was okay with having one hand. I wasn't okay with people's reactions to me having one hand. And I think that kind of opened me up to recognizing that I needed to not pay attention to necessarily my physical form as much as I paid attention to my spirit, because it was from my spirit that I shine. And so my body looks limited, and although we all know, I'm taking the handicap parking. Yes, I have handicap tags on my car, although y'all think I'm not handicapped. Right? I'm still going to do it, because if I had to deal with people looking at me all the time, the least society could do is give me the handicap parking. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Taking the handicap parking. But other than that, like I really started realizing that it was from, you know, all of the validation I was looking for. I was created perfect. My worth is never up for debate because I was created in the image of perfection and wholeness. And so from that standpoint, it made me, instead of feeling sad about having one hand and getting angry with people for looking at me all the time, I saw having one hand as an awesome responsibility, because every room I walk in, every place I go, people notice me and they look at me. And so people are always going to be looking, then I have a responsibility to shine every time people look. That when they look, you know, people go, oh, my goodness, you know, she seems so comfortable in her skin and she's so loud. She's walking around acting like she doesn't know she has one hand. You know, and I'm like, okay, what the hell does that mean? But, you know, like, I get it that people are saying, they think that, well, if they had one hand, they wouldn't be able to walk through life the way that I do, and I know that my responsibility is to say to the world, yes, you could, that because of what your essence is, it doesn't matter what you go through, what your experiences are, what your body looks like, you can make it through whatever it is because of who you already are on the inside and who you are created to be. And so tapping into my wholeness made me, it made me get comfortable in the skin that I'm in, because this skin is a responsibility and a message to the world about what the Creator really meant when He created us.
I know for sure that I'm going to go back and listen to this clip at least 3 times. At least 3. Because, honey, you said not even a mouthful. You said a heartful just now. Like that. Oh, my gosh. That's absolutely beautiful. So you write. You blog, among the millions of other things that you do. And one of your more popular and well-recognized blogs is the one that you did where you talked about fear being a crackhead.
A crackhead, yeah.
Yeah, talk to me about that.
So I realized that so I lost one of my brothers. His name was Corny, in 2007, and he struggled back and forth with a drug addiction that I wasn't really aware of until later on. And so he would get clean and then not be clean. And there would be times when he wasn't clean that I would look in his eyes, and all I could see him scared and afraid somewhere deep behind the crackhead where he really was. And I often have lived my life, and I'm still working on it, just being afraid of what people think, afraid of what outcomes are going to be, afraid of how people are going to look at me if I really just be myself, afraid of paying all my bills because then I won't have any money left, afraid of all kinds of, paying attention to lack instead of abundance. And so I've realized that that there's love and there's fear, and so living in love and abundance, that's heaven. But living in fear is really hell. And we are a lot of the negative emotions we have. The root of it is there's something we're afraid of. We're afraid that we're not enough. We're afraid that we aren't strong enough. We aren't smart enough. We can't be loved. There are all of these fears that we have. And I realized that my fears were just like when my brother was a crackhead. That I only could find him if I looked deep into his eyes, past his yearning to go and get the next hit. And so fear is like that. Fear will lie to you about who you are. Fear will hold you in the dark. Fear will hold you in the darkness and make you think that the darkness is more powerful than light, when in actuality, you can bring light to darkness. You can't bring darkness into a lit room.
Right.
But you can bring, if the room is dark, all you need is one candle if the room is dark, and it changes the whole room. So light is definitely more powerful than darkness, but fear lies to you and holds you trapped in all of these misconceptions about who you are supposed to be. And so I took a nice little trip to the psych ward because I was afraid of losing my husband. We were having a lot of, drama in our relationship. I had lied to him about things that I had done and then brought those lies into the marriage. And so it literally destroyed a lot of the trust that we had, and how he viewed me and everything. And I realized that all of that was fear. And I kept saying I was making crackhead moves. Because I'm trying to hide and protect and lie at every turn. And so I had to just call it what it was and say, you know what, fear is a crackhead, and my negative thoughts are the crack. And the more the more that I focus on that, then I'm going to be feeding the crackhead. And I need to get clean. It's amazing to me that even like in getting clean, in my process of getting clean, my biggest fear was that my marriage was going to be destroyed and that I was going to lose the man and all of this stuff. And although we have shifted our relationship into being separated and being really best friends and have a really loving relationship, in that, I learned that while we transformed what we call the relationship that we had, he loves and respects me more because he knows that I don't make crackhead moves. I'm honest. I'm authentic. If he asks me a question, he knows he's going to get the answer. And that's who I want to show up in the world, as me, not as the crackhead. So.
Yes. Erricka, how do you define love? What's your definition of love?
Wow, that is a really good question. So I was raised to believe that God is love, and so people have a lot of different, and when I say God, I don't know if I mean it the way people traditionally mean it. Like I don't mean the white man with the beard somewhere up in the sky. I mean life force. I mean all that is life force and energy and everything, that creates. And so I believe that for me, love is life force that creates abundance. And so anytime we do anything that is unloving, we can tell because it hurts some way. It hurts. We get a headache. We break relationships. We hurt someone else, and so anytime we are destroying something, it's because we're doing something not in love. And so I think that love is, it's the life force, the thing that creates abundance and life in the universe. And that's not something that you can bottle. And so what disappoints me about our perception of love is we normally say love when we're talking about romance. And love and romance are two very different things.
Yeah.
And so we say you don't love me unless you're in a monogamous relationship with me. You don't love me unless unless it looks a certain way, but love is the most free thing in the world, yet we try to trap it in all of these different boxes. And love itself can't be held. So we attach our neediness to it and our low self-esteem to it and our looking for somebody else to make us whole to it. And none of that is love. All of that is desperation and the crackhead. Love keeps going whether you like it. Love keeps being. It doesn't need to prove itself to you because it's true. So while you are busy trying to make somebody love you, and it show up the way you want it to look, when you go inside and find love for yourself, then everything you want is attracted. So, like, even with me having one hand, I found that once I stopped worrying about that people pity me all the time, that's when people started coming. People now always just randomly come up to me and say, you are just so beautiful. You look so, it's clear that you love yourself and you love in your own skin. And I'm always like, what just happened? What made them? But it's, like now people are drawn, because I'm drawn to myself and I recognize my own light. Now, having one hand is some people see a light. They see the nub, but they see a light, and then by the way, there's a nub in that light. What the hell? And that makes them come and have a conversation with me.
Yeah.
And that's only from the power of love.
All right. Before we run out of time, I want to give you the opportunity to, if you can remember, all of the social networking connections so that people can contact you, Facebook, Twitter, your blog, any websites that you have.
All right, this is great. Okay, so here we go. Now, the first thing I want to say is all of the holidays are coming up, and people often within families have a lot of emotional torment around holidays, and so you might want to have some hard conversations. There might be conflicts coming up, and so you want to contact your local community mediation center where you can sit down, have those conversations and arguments, and talk together about how to do things differently in the future through free mediation where people are going to be non-judgmental. There's a new confidentiality law in Maryland, and so it's confidential by freaking law. And so, yeah, because mediators do it so everybody's satisfied. So we wasn't playing. When we went to Annapolis, we were ready. We were getting laws made. So to contact your local community mediation center, you can go to mdmediation.org to find your local center. If you click on Need Mediation. So that's one thing. If you want to become a mediator, also you can contact your local center by going to mdmediation.org as well. So that's mediation stuff. Have conversations with people. Heal your relationships. That's A. Okay, so that's my daytime job. My purpose work is as an inspirational speaker. You can contact me at yououtloud@gmail.com. So if you have any event coming up or any if you want a workshop facilitated around self-esteem or spiritual growth or, grief or, anything that I've been through that God gives me to say about it, then I do and I will. And so if you need an inspirational speaker to set any tone for your audience or for your event, you can contact me either at yououtloud@gmail.com or on my website, ErrickaBridgeford.com. My name is spelled ERRICKA, and my last name is Bridgeford. It's spelled exactly as that sounds, ErrickaBridgeford.com. I'm on Facebook at Erricka Wonder Voice Bridgeford or just Erricka Bridgeford, my fan page or my regular page. My Twitter name is just at Erricka, ERRICKA. My blog is Fear is a Crackhead. That's Erricka@Posterous.com, I believe. The Baltimore Bricks is a news magazine that we constantly post about, news that's happening, but also things that's happening in Baltimore. And so the BaltimoreBricks.com is that. Shout out to Bruce and Chris and Miley and Milka and City. Yeah.
All right.
I can't think of what else do I do. That's all I do.
I think that's it. Twitter, Facebook. I mean, we can get into MySpace and all that other stuff, but
yeah.
If you could, so we're going to end with this. If you could, you were trapped on a desert island, and you could only have one book, one CD, and one movie, what would you have?
I would have A Course in Miracles would be my book. Oh, my goodness, one CD. That's hard. Oh, my movie would probably be Annie.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I'm lying. Wait, it's either Annie, What Dreams May Come, or Stranger Than Fiction. So it depends on what was in my suitcase at the time, but one of those movies. And then what CD would I have? Oh, my goodness gracious. It would probably be something India Ari.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Erricka. Let's have a round of applause for you. You already know I'm a fan. I'm a fan of your person and everything about you, and appreciate you for coming to the show. This is awesome, absolutely awesome, and thank you.
Thank you
very much. If you ever need me for anything, you got my number. I told you, as long as I'm available, you got me. And I will see you around the Internet and hopefully shortly.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. You have a good evening.
All right, you too.
You're listening to the Evolution of Perspective on Blog Talk Radio. I'm your host, Ellen G.